Spiritual mentorship. Find a guide for your journey. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 235 of our Supersize Your Business Annual Challenge. Now, this is a topic I don't think very many business owners talk about, or very many guides, coaches, consultants, advisors, whatever you call yourself. Very few people talk about the spiritual aspects of our business. Yet, we're spending a whole month on it because it's that important. It's just as important as all the other areas and aspects of our life. Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, contribution, communication, and confidence are the 9 areas that we talk about every year. This is since 2020 for sure. So this is for sure year 6 that I've taught this life framework. I didn't add communication and confidence until 2021, I think it was, when I was going through a coaching program back then. I am an example of what I tell other people to do, right? I've spent, I'm sure, well over $1 million. I should add this up someday, but times changed. I've been getting mentors and guidance and coaches and hiring experts since my mid-20s. And so I understand the value of speed by learning from people that have gone before me. And this applies to every area and aspect of our life, right? Not just spirituality, but most people have never had a spiritual mentor. And so I think it's a really powerful way to grow and scale your business from a foundational core values perspective that a lot of business owners don't consider. Yet, if we do, we will build a much more solid and stable foundation for everything that we do, including our business, which is what we're trying to grow here, right? So how do you go about, why do you care about having a mentor? Well, if you care about really understanding what makes you and your organization tick and work and flow and attract the people that you want to be involved with and make the world a better place, because I'm all about working with people that want to make the world a better place, this is a topic of interest. And it's a topic, like I said, most people aren't going to talk about. If you talked to me before my sudden cardiac arrest, I probably wouldn't ever talk about it either. Again, I don't think I started actually really bringing it up and talking about it. I talked about it with my one-on-one clients and with the people that I advised and coached, but I didn't really talk about it in public, online, right? In social media. So spiritual growth accelerates with a mentor. Any area of our life accelerates with a mentor or a coach. Somebody who's been there before, somebody who can guide us and challenge us and encourage us and ask us questions so that we challenge ourselves, right? And so we challenge our old beliefs and our thoughts and our feelings and our experiences and ask ourselves, okay, yep, that totally happened, absolutely valid, but can I change my perspective and interpretation of how that thing happened and use it to propel my life in the direction I want to go, or I'm going to use that thing to hold me back? And same thing with emotional and mental things. We have to untangle certain things when we discover that they are being a stopper for what it is that we want to achieve in our life. Spiritual mentors can be pastors, coaches, therapists, teachers, authors. One of my favorite ways to learn about anything is to find authors that have written about it. Now, I will tell you, it's just like watching one source of news or media or social media. It can be dangerous because you get tunnel vision and tunnel thinking. And one person really doesn't have the breadth of knowledge that we probably need for certain areas and aspects of our life, especially if we're growing and scaling our business and we want to influence other people, right? We need to take that with a moral obligation that we're not going to do any harm and we're going to make the world a better place. Like I said, there's so many things I teach that can be used for good, and anything that we teach can be used for evil as well, right? It's really a little bit mind-boggling. Any technology can be used for good. It can also be used for evil. That's the whole discussion around AI these days. So once we select, my whole point on that was I look at a lot of different books and a lot of different sources. When I am reading about a topic, I think of, here's a business example. When I wanted to outsource certain aspects of my business, I didn't just read one book on outsourcing. I went on Amazon and I bought 20 books on outsourcing, and I didn't read them word for word, but I went through and I looked at all the different sources because that was 20 different experts' opinion on the topic of outsourcing and how to do it. And that gave me, when I launched our outsourcing program, much better results than if I had just picked one and gone with that one. Now, if I had picked, because I didn't use just one, I mixed in and used pieces from each of the different ones that were applicable for my situation. I think that's what we have to do with everything. However, I think that we can learn from other people as guides and mentors if we're humble enough and willing to listen and learn. Doesn't mean we're going to copy and do everything that they do necessarily, but we can learn from them the bits and pieces that help us on our journey. So our action item today is to find a mentor who challenges you spiritually and professionally. There are guides and advisors and coaches out there that will help you both with the spiritual aspects of your business and your life, as well as all the other areas that you need to consider. I would say if they're not doing at least a 5 to 7 rounded person coaching program, look for something else, because there's plenty of people that are. So ask yourself a couple of questions today. Who has walked the spiritual path that you want to walk before you? And are they available to mentor? Have they written a book? If they've written a book, the fastest way to find a mentor and their way of thinking about something is to read their book, right? And then find out who also ascribes to their methodology if you cannot get them as a mentor. Chances are, if they're a famous author and they've written a book, they're not going to be your mentor. I know. Ego shocker, but it's true. If I wanted Tony Robbins to be my mentor, he would laugh me out of his room, right? Or out of his island. I think he still has his island, doesn't he? Or his place on Fiji. Am I humble enough to accept guidance and work? And I will tell you, I will give you a personal real-time example. I'm in a coaching program right now because it was a skill I wanted to get better at. That, we're always sharpening the saw and getting better at things. It's a business-related skill. And so I thought, okay, who's the best at this specific thing that I want to learn to do? And then I went and I hired them as my coach. Yep, I'm 66 and I still get coaches. But I learned pretty early on that I had to stuff my ego and my identity and my past beliefs down in a few areas before I could actually do the things that they were telling me to do. Why? Because they're 20-year-olds. They're like brilliant 20-year-olds that are doing something that I have been challenged to get to work for me personally. And I have found that I have this need to make things way more complicated and way harder than they have to be. I'm not quite sure where that came from, but I'm working on it because it's not serving me very well. And it took me a couple of months to get over the hump of saying, all right, I just need to push my ego and everything aside and just learn what it is that they have to teach me. And like I do with everything else, then make it my own and implement. And once I started doing that, everything was so much easier. So are you humble enough? Are you willing to learn from somebody else? And it doesn't mean we blindly follow and do what they say. It means we learn what's working and then we tweak it and make it our own with our experience and our level of expertise and the things that we've learned along the way. And that's how we add value to the world and make the world a better place. So for an action item today, just think of someone that could guide you and help you, and just start a relationship with them, or start, following them on social media, reading their books, learning from their material, and then asking yourself questions about it. Well, how does this apply to me? How does this apply to our business? How might we use this to scale and create the business and the life that we want in a way that makes the world a better place? I'm going to say that over and over and over again. You're going to get sick of me saying that, but I only want to work with people and have people that want to make the world a better place listening to anything I ever have to say. All right. Any questions about this? Reach out, ask, hit me up, whatever you want to call it. And I am here to help. Otherwise, go out and make it an amazing day. Oh, if you like things like this, all these 9 areas and aspects of life framework, and you don't have another place to go find out about them, join us on the free school community, Supersize Your Business. That's where we go deep. That's where you can get access to me. That's where we talk about all of these different areas. I also share the annual challenge there. Put me in the comments below and I will send you a private invitation. And then remember to ask me to let you into the annual challenge, because I'll let you in there for free too, but you got to ask. All right. Have an awesome day. I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye. Go find a spiritual mentor.